welcome to my channel, Joyce's Affordable Glam Life 360, or just Joyce. I'm on here today because I am doing a get ready with me and an unsolved mystery. This unsolved mystery is called the Taos Hum. If you would like to know what this mystery is all about, then keep on watching. Nestled deep within the San de Cristo mountain range is Taos, New Mexico. It is home to the Taiwa Indians and the old Taos Pueblo. That's a hard word to say, and I apologize. Pueblo. Yes. It is one of the longest continually inhabited communities in the United States. For back in history, ancient lore of the area tells of Nature Council. With her own, and she sings, she resets her patterns of harmony. There is a peak looming out of the Taos mountain known as El Salto. This peak reflects the scarlet colors of the setting sun that caused the first settlers in the valley to name the entire range San de Cristo, which translates as the blood of Christ. This peak has 7 waterfalls, and they cascade down its side in the summer and form giant ice sculptures in the winter. For generations, the people of the area have considered El Salto to be a holy mountain that baptizes the valley with its singing waterfalls. Behind the waterfalls are caves of different shapes along the various elevations of El Salto Peak. These caves catch the sounds of the cascading waterfalls and echo them across the valley. In the mid-1800s, the famous healer, holy man, and hermit Giovanni Maria Agostini Giustini was passing through this. That's a mouthful, right? Whew. I was afraid I wasn't going to be able to do that name. I'm very proud of myself. He was passing through this area and decided to climb all the way to the top of El Salto. He wrote in his journal that he had heard the sound of the singing of waters of the sacred mountain. He described that he had distinctly heard 7 notes of the musical scale as nature played her tune on the holy mountain. Mountain climbers today continue to still hear a long, endless musical tone which will change as they climb up the mountain. Today, the town of Taos is a small, laid-back, artsy community that has been home to famous residents that include Julia Roberts, Dennis Hopper, D.H. Lawrence, Aldous Huxley, and Donald Rumsfeld. It is also where an unusual mystery takes place. There is a resident hum of an unknown origin. The hum is a phenomenon that involves widespread reports of persistent and invasive low-frequency humming, rumbling, or droning noise that is not audible to all people. The hum was first reported in the early 1990s. In 1993, the citizens of Taos who suffered, and even those who did not suffer because of the hum, put forward an investigation petition in front of the American Congress. The allegation put forward was that the hum was produced by some covert or open military activity. So the Congress heard this, so they sent more than a dozen scientists to Taos to investigate the phenomenon. Personnel from Los Alamos National Laboratory, which was, FYI, where the first atom bomb was built. And also that was sent was from Phillips Air Force Laboratory. They participated in the investigation. So what could be causing these hums? Scientists believe that various sounds surround us and most go unnoticed. You can only notice when you start paying attention. We humans live in a constant sea of background noises. Many people assume that locating the source of a sound should be easy, but In practice, it can be very difficult. There are hundreds of potential sources of noises, including traffic, boats, planes, insects, large machines, wind, freight trains, mining, and other industries. One article I read said it's not as simple as listening for a sound and walking toward it until you find its source. Some researchers believe the answer to the sound could be personal experience instead of outer world factories and heavy equipment. Questions that may sound really silly, such as what does your tongue taste like, or what does your nose smell like, what does your ear sound like? These simple, silly questions that researchers believe could be part of the answer. Even though we don't notice it, our ears sometimes create their own noises. The sounds can be very subtle. Most people are constantly surrounded by sound, whether it's music, television, video games, or just a typical noisy city life. Usually, we can't hear them until it is very quiet, or we are listening very carefully to it. So this kind of phenomenon is called spontaneous autoacoustic, I believe how it sounds, but I will put it up here somewhere to make sure that the right name is being said. So this is called spontaneous autoacoustic emissions, spontaneous autoacoustic emissions is different than auditory disorders such as tinnitus. And tinnitus causes a ringing in the ears. I've experienced that before, and that can be, that is quite frustrating because you just want the noise to stop. So I have had that before. And I wonder if a lot of people have or not, I'm not sure. Researchers believe that this might explain some of the hearers' reports. But what is so puzzling about the Taos hum is that only a small percentage, 2%, claim to hear it. So the other 98% of the population doesn't hear it. And it's not that these other people, the other population, have poor hearing. It could be that this 2% population have that hears it are they call it super hearers, and that is people that have unusual keen hearing. I mean, I know people that have better hearing than I do. My husband is one of them. He'll hear something and I'm like, how do you hear that? It just sounds like mumbling, and he knows exactly what is being said. So he must be a super hearer. Also could be possible is that given such a weak effect in such a few number of people, because their descriptions of the hum, they don't always match up. So the people that are complaining of the hum, it's not the same for everybody. It is possible that given such a weak effect in such a few number of people, because again, their descriptions don't always match up of the sound, it also could be the hum is an auditory hallucination. These hallucinations do not always indicate any sort of mental illness or disturbance. It may simply be the result of common harmless psychological and physiological processes. A neurologist named Oliver Sacks has written extensively on visual and auditory hallucinations. His books, one is called Musicophilia, Tales of Music and the Brain in 2007, and Hallucinations, that was published in 2012. So what is really perplexing about the Taos hum hearers, they've reported hearing the hum even after they have moved away from the area. So that's even more perplexing. Like, why do you still hear it if you've moved away from the area. So that makes it even more that this could be some sort of auditory hallucination or so forth. In science, unexplained does not mean unexplainable. In our world, things have been initially mysterious and unexplained. Eventually, though, research and science, things become explained. It is possible that the Taos hum is real and its true origins remain unknown. It is also possible that the hum only exists in the minds and ears of those who report it. This quote that I just read is from Benjamin Redford, editor of Skeptical Inquirer Science magazine. So when I researched, I did more scientific articles and then other articles just to get the whole, when I do research, I like to get both sides. So basically in the science magazines, you know, and I've said this on here, they believe things are explainable. In science, it just may not be obvious just yet. So people who have reported the sound of the hum, they've had side effects that include increased pressure in ears, abrupt nosebleeds, disorientation, sleep disturbances that go as far as insomnia, and dizziness, plus headaches. So apart from physical side effects, people even reported psychological disequilibrium. It was also reported that some felt completely singled out. So, okay, why is this happening to me and no one else? There are some people who can hear the hum, and those who can say they feel, so some that do hear the hum have said they feel blessed and comforted by the low frequency noise. And still others say the hum is like a low rumbling or buzzing sound that they cannot stand. And then there are others who describe it as sounding like a distant diesel engine. So I did hear it on someone, I guess, recorded it, and I'm not sure who I found it, and it said it's just a Taos hum sound. And to be honest, for me, it sounded like a freight train. So I guess it's all different. But for me, personally, hearing it on a recording, it sounded like a freight train. Many say the sound is maddening, which if you do find it really annoying, I could see it being maddening, and it drives them crazy, and it interferes with their sleep. So those who had the insomnia and so forth, sleep disorders, those are the ones who say it interferes with their sleep. And then there's those who say that it doesn't sound like a natural phenomenon. The sound phenomenon, this hum, that is heard more after sunset and in the middle of the night than during the day. One theory that has been given is that it could be caused by shifting wind patterns that are coming out of the Rio Grande. Is that how you say it? I've heard it two different ways, actually. I've heard it Rio Grande and I've heard it Rio Grande, but I think the right way is Rio Grande. And then there's another theory that others believe the noise is more modern, such as electromagnetic background buildup, or military communication systems. So when they originally went to Congress with the petition, that was kind of what they were saying, that this had to be some sort of military system going on. So I also had read some of more I guess, outrageous to my ears. They do sound kind of like, I don't know about that. But okay, here are some of them. So some believe it is the communication among living rocks. That one got me. Living rocks. I don't understand that. I don't know what a living rock is. I'm not up on that. So if you know what that is, comment below and let me know, but I'm not sure what a living rock is. So some believe that's what it is. They also say it could be the sound made by lost spirits attempting to cross over to the other side, which, you know what, if you believe in spirits and you know, okay, maybe it is. I mean, I don't know. There is one that says it is the sunspot's intersolar echo. There is another one that says it is the sound generated by planetary alignment. And then the last theory that I read was that it is the sound of alien communication attempts. If you're curious and you want to hear the hum in person, it is suggested to go out of the city of Taos and into the surrounding deserts of the forests or surrounding them, or forests surrounding the Taos town. And it's best to go early morning or at night. And the hum, they say, can be heard best near Tres Orjas, which is west of Taos. The El Salto waterfalls, if you would like to see those, are located 7 miles north of Taos. It's on private land, and they can be visited by a permit. So in the end, this mystery may be solved depending on who you talk to or read or so forth. Some believe it's solved. This is another mystery that I was intrigued by, considering that it's a noise that not everybody hears. So is it actually a noise, or is it a phenomenon that people believe they hear? I mean, I don't know if everybody has before in one time or another have been like, I hear something but nobody else hears it, or it's such a faint noise that you may hear it but somebody else may not, kind of like the super hearers. But again, if it's interfering in people's sleep and they are having side effects from it, then it is something that should be solved for those people. And then when I read that people who've moved away have still heard it, I'm thinking, well, did they move away to get away from the noise, and the noise they still hear? Then is that a medical issue with that person? I really enjoyed researching this Taos hum, and for the fact that there are other hums in other places, other countries like the UK, Europe, that have heard similar noises. So it was a very interesting mystery that, as science says, we may not definitely have an answer, but maybe in the future it will be explained. Because I also read that some hums have been proven to be hoaxes as well. So maybe somebody is making this noise and they haven't discovered it yet, and it's a hoax. Who knows? But they did get the Congress involved in the 90s. So that says that there is something going on that maybe we don't know about. I don't know. If you enjoyed this Taos hum mystery, please hit the thumbs up. It helps me out. If you are not subscribed to my channel, will you please consider subscribing to my channel? If you are already subscribed to my channel, I thank you from the bottom of my heart for your love and support. And consider this: in a world where you can be anything, consider being kind. And I will talk to you guys later. Bye.